Hi, Facebook family. It is Friday, so you know the deal. So, as you can see, I'm getting on a little bit early so I can make sure that my sound and everything is okay. But nobody has gotten on yet, so we know that it's Friday, so you know the deal. It's that time again with Shay and Trill. But as you can see, Shay is not with me today. I invited several guests, but couldn't get anybody to come on, but we did not want to miss a broadcast. So I'm going to go forth and do it by myself today. So it's Friday. You know the deal. It's Friday. So let's talk for real. It's Friday. So let's talk. Let's talk for real. Let's talk with Shay and Trill. Let's talk. Let's talk for real. Let's talk for real. So yes. So welcome to Let's Talk for Real with Shay and Trill. Like I said earlier, it'll be your sister doing it solo today. And our topic for today is secret enemy. Yeah, let that sit there for a minute. Secret enemy. A lot of us have people in our lives that we surround ourselves with, but sometimes we surround ourselves with people who secretly are envy of us. They're secretly not liking us. They're secretly wanting to be us. So the secret enemy, sometimes we walk with them, we sleep with them, we eat with them, we work with them, and they are placed in our lives as a motivator. Sometimes they're placed in our lives to reveal some things to us. So I want to talk about that today, about the private enemy. And what brought this conversation up, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were just talking about some common people that we knew, and he had kind of basically shared some things with me, saying, you know, why do they secretly not like you? And so one thing about a secret enemy, sometimes they think that they're not where you can see them, but sometimes God will reveal people to you. So they're really not as secret as they think that they are. You can tell that you have a secret enemy in your life because they never have anything positive to say. They don't know how to celebrate you, but they will tolerate you. As my friend Shay says, a lot of times they don't know how to compliment you. They don't know how to enjoy your success. A lot of times they have something negative, you know, they're always inviting negative energy. So sometimes our secret enemy reveal themselves by when you get a promotion or you have something good that happened in your life, and they may smile and say, you know what, I'm happy for you, but the nonverbal communication tells you otherwise. They show who they are by when you have common friends. If they are having conversations about your common friends and talking about them, guess what? 9 times out of 10, they're doing the same thing for you. So the secret enemy is what we want to talk about today. Sometimes our secret enemy is us. It's our inner me. It's that person that on the inside where you're not confident enough in who you are, that you are having an identity crisis, that what you find yourself doing is qualifying yourself from somebody else. So it's your past experiences that continue to be the voice on the inside of your head that is telling you that, you know what, God didn't choose you. You're not capable of doing that. You know, you're not good enough. You don't speak like them. You don't walk like them. You don't talk like them. So sometimes our private enemy is ourselves. And like I said in the beginning, sometimes your private enemy, you sleeping with them. It's your relationship. It can be your spouse. And you say, how can your spouse hate on you or be your secret enemy? Sometimes you are doing things that your spouse is not doing. They're not answering their call. They're not walking in their purpose. They may have fallen short in their dreams and their visions. And sometimes they secretly are envious of you because you decided that, okay, for God I live, for God I die. So that means if I got to go out there and chase after my purpose, sometimes you find yourself doing it alone. Sometimes you can't find your cheerleaders and your encouragers. A lot of times you have to look in the mirror and encourage yourself. So when you're talking about a secret enemy, they're put in your life for a reason, because in the Bible it says that God will prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemy. And I think I said it on one of the segments that you got to be, you got to have someone that you can eat in front of. That eating in front of is the blessings that God has have in your life. They got to be the person who can witness God's grace and his mercy upon your life. God opening up the doors of favor in your life. They got to be a witness to say that I know that if it was not for God in your life, that you wouldn't be able to accomplish the things that you accomplish. How is it that you are getting promoted and you're not qualified? How are you able to walk in all these places where your education couldn't get you there, your job title couldn't get you there, but because favor opened up for you, that you find yourself in places where you're saying now, if it had not been for God, I couldn't be here. Because if it's based on my qualifications, it's based on my education, it's based on how I was raised or my background, that there's no way that I should be rubbing elbows with these type of people. So we're talking about, hey, Rhonda, we're talking about secret enemies on today. And sometimes you got to go back and you got to look at your list of the people that you call friends. We know that there's a song that me and Shay sing quite a bit, how they smile in your face, and all the while they want to take your place, the backstabbers. And a lot of times people want to be you. They want to have your boldness. They want to have your creativity. They want to be able to do some of the things that they have put themselves in a mindset and kept themselves in a small box. So they admire the fact that you're bold in your choices in life, that you are not afraid to step out by faith and knowing that you're going to land on something. So you sometimes you attract that secret enemy because in the back of their mind, they want to be you. And it's not that they want to be you to be in an envious position, but because of pride and because of lack of confidence and just being who we are as women, sometimes it's hard for us to come and say, you know what? I need you to mentor me. I need to find out what you're doing so I can emulate success in my life. So what we'll wind up doing is you look at a person and say you don't like her, but you don't know why you don't like her. What you don't like the way she talk. You don't like the way she walk. But secretly what you're doing is you're being envious of that person because they've decided to really accept the call that has been placed on their lives. So a lot of times you got to go back and evaluate the people that you surround yourself with. You're not going to always have the cheerleaders. Sometimes you need the haters in your life to motivate you sometimes. Hey, Kelly, because if you don't have those secret pushers, those people who are talking about you, and you know how sometimes when you're out there and you're scared to take the leap of faith, and sometimes it takes the voice of somebody saying that, I told you couldn't do that. I knew God didn't call you for that. That right there motivates you because you want to sometimes shut the mouth of your haters, and you want to let them know that you don't get to determine my destiny. You don't get to call the shots and tell me what I'm capable of doing, because we got to understand that you didn't call me. God called me. And there are certain things that only I can do that you can't do. And when you're looking at that secret enemy, sometimes you find yourself in a competition with them, and you shouldn't. And sometimes you find yourself in a position where you are the secret enemy in the lives of your friends or the lives of your sibling or the lives of your mate. So you got to go back and evaluate yourself and then understand why you're falling short. Why are you really envious of your sister? Why are you really envious of their relationship? Why are you really envious of what they call having the Joneses syndrome, that when the Joneses get something that you want to get it too? You got to go back and look at your motive for why you want that. And it's okay if you want to say that, you know what, I admire who you are, and I want to understand how you're able to get where you're getting. And then sometimes when you get to really hear a person's backdrop in their story, then you get to understand. And I love saying sometimes you don't know my story, so you don't understand my praise. And a lot of times people don't know the struggles and the things that you've been through, but you got to understand that somebody is always watching you. They're always watching how you carry yourself. They're always watching who you surround yourself with. They're always watching how you bounce back when the enemy comes and attack you. They look at how you respond to negativity. They look at how they listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth, because sometimes we can turn people off that may be put in our lives to be an assignment, because we don't know how to respond to when the adversary comes and attack us. So you got to understand that somebody's always watching you. They're always looking for your post. They're always listening to what you got to say. So I learned that a few days ago when talking to a friend of mine, that I had deleted them off Facebook. But to me, I didn't think deleting them off was a bad thing. But the person let me know, you don't understand. I needed your post. I needed to be able to see what was going on, because I was going through, and sometimes the things that you post motivated me to do what I needed to do. So that was a revelation to me, to be aware of what I'm doing, because the assignment that was given to me, just like we do with this platform on Let's Talk For Real with Shay and Trill. I could have easily say, you know what, I can't find anybody to do it with me. I'm going to go ahead and cancel it or not doing it. But I understand that with the assignment that God has placed on my life, that somebody needed to hear about the secret enemy on today. Somebody needed to understand why they're being isolated, why people are talking about them, why they're spiritually frustrated, why nothing is being satisfied, or why they can't accomplish something, why there's always stumbling blocks, why is all this stuff, chaos going on in my life, why is my mate looking at me all side-eyed, what are they mad about? Because sometimes when you're going forth and you're doing the things that God has called you to do, there's going to be friction, there's going to be tension, there's going to be people that are disappear out of your life. There's going to be people who come into your life. So you got to understand what is going on when God is beginning to shift some things in your life. All private enemies aren't as private as they think. Like I said, sometimes God has revealed those people to you. And so he'll never let anything come upon you unaware. So he always prepares you. But the thing about it is that you got to even look at how that person's placement in being at the table that is prepared for you in the presence of your enemy. Sometimes your enemy needs to see that God is still God. Sometimes they need to see that God is still blessing you, and they need to understand that the same way God can do it for me, he can do it for you. So it may be that I may have to share something that's going on in my life where, I can be a testimony to you and let you know that, look, I remember some of my closest friends, and I could say about 3 of them, one of my closest friends that I had, when we first started our relationship, we didn't like each other. Why we didn't like each other? One didn't like the way I said something. One didn't like the way I looked. One didn't like the way that I carried myself, because they were judging me based on appearance. They were judging me based on the association from somebody else, but they didn't get the chance to know me for myself. So when they were in the space where they put all of that aside and they said, okay, let me give her a chance. Let me see what's really going on. And those 3 people are some of the best friends that I've had in the years of my life, because I'm a firm believer that people come in your life for a season, a reason, and a lifetime. When you find out what category they in, then you'll know how to deal with people. Sometimes we try to put seasonal people in reason slots, or we try to take lifetime people and make them a seasonal person. But you got to know your circle, because you are the pack that you run with. So if you're running around with a bunch of people who are tolerating you and not celebrating you, that they always got something negative to say, they don't have anything to contribute to you, they're never pouring in, but they're always sucking out, then you need to go back and reevaluate that, because God gives us balance. He don't give us the secret enemies and then allow them to come in and consume everything that's going on, because sometimes with your secret enemy, you have to expose them. Okay? Let me say that again. Sometimes with your secret enemy, You have to expose them. Sometimes you got to let them know, look, I know what you're saying. I know the things that you're talking against me about. I know sometimes that when I tell you to let's pray, that you ain't in agreement with me because your stuff is messed up, busted, and disgusted. Now you want the same thing for me. But sometimes you got to sit back and have a conversation with people and say, look, what is really going on? Why you don't like me? Is it something that I did? Is it something that I said? Because sometimes, a lot of times, when you have a secret enemy in your life, it's a miscommunication. It's the fact that, they don't know the kingdom assignment to you being in their lives. So what they're doing, they're interpreting it entirely different, that you may be doing something to help them, but they think because of whatever their personal gripes are, that you're there to hurt them. But when you have a conversation with somebody and you truly have a spirit-led, spirit-backed conversation with people, then a lot of times you understand that your secret enemy is placed in your life for you to help them. And sometimes that secret enemy is placed in your life for them to help you. So you got to understand and see where it is that you are in this placement. Because I'm a firm believer that God never puts things together by chance. Everything is ordained. There's a reason behind every meeting that you have. There's a reason behind every person you're connected with, every path that you cross, every word that comes out of your mouth, everything thought that comes across your mind. There's a reason for it. But the reason why so often we have secret enemies in our lives instead of those that can help gird us up and uplift us is because we're dealing with people from an emotional standpoint. And when you deal with people from an emotional place, then it's hard for you to connect spiritually, because now you're taking what somebody else said and allow that to taint the vision that God has placed in your life for why you're connected with that person. Sometimes you got to turn that ear off, and sometimes you got to put a blinder on your eye, and sometimes you got to go back before God and say, God, why is it that you have us connected? What is the purpose? What is the plan? What is it that I'm supposed to do? Because sometimes it's about what you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to say. And so many times we fall short because, like the woman of God told me one time, she said, you got people who got to be, the word that she gave was when you follow God's rules, that you will get God's rewards. And in order to do that, you have to be willing and obedient. And some of us are willing, but we're not obedient. And when I say we're not obedient, when we know that there's things that God has instructed us to do, we want to do things our way. And then we want to get in the way. And then sometimes we're obedient, but we're not willing to go in the direction that God wants us to go. And then sometimes God may put you in a place where you done had this person as an enemy in your life for years. And then God said, I need you to give that person a word. I need you to guide this person where they can get salvation. So then you have to put your first personal feelings aside. You have to put whatever happened in the past and understand that this is about kingdom business. This is about being a soul winner, because at the end of the day, it's about God's glory, and it's about the salvation that God has. That's right. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Thank you, Pastor Daniels. But a lot of times we're not willing to sacrifice. And that's why we fall short in the area of obedience. But sacrifice requires you to die, something to be killed in you. And so when you're talking about having to give your enemy a word, that means your flesh has to die, that you have to get beyond your relationship or whatever happened in your life. And you got to be willing to, okay, God, I'm going to put that aside because I understand that you want to use me in this situation for a reason. And so many times people are still connected in bondage, and they're still in depression and stress and dealing with all these things because we're not doing our job. We're passing people by. We're putting people in a position where now they're become our private enemy, when God had put them in your life for you to evolve a different type of relationship with them. So we're talking about today about secret enemies. And so many times our secret enemies are placed in our lives to help us to evolve. But some of us don't want to evolve because we want to keep being in the place of hatred. We want to keep being in the place of saying, I don't understand, and this is the way I am, and this is the type of relationship that like a person can't change. That person was like that when I met them in high school. They did this to me, or they did that to me. But don't you know that people don't stay in the same place? That sometimes those people have grown up and moved on, and you're still in that place called stuck in high school. And they done moved on. You still mad because they done took your boyfriend and you married to somebody else? Let me say that again. You mad because they done took your boyfriend, but you married to somebody else? You mad because y'all was friends in school and then she got another friend? What is that about? Especially us with women. Why we can't share friendship? Why we get territorial and feel like that you're the only friend they supposed to have? Well, all these people in the world, you mean to tell me you can't broaden your horizon? You can't stretch your mind past your handful of friends when there's so many people out there? You're missing opportunities to meet new people. You're missing the opportunity to speak a fresh word. You're missing out on the opportunity to be somebody's deliverer. Because that's what we are. Because you got people every day that you meet at a crossroad who are going in the direction of death or life. And you have the life preserver or the life jacket, or you got the oxygen tank that can give them life, that can rejuvenate them. But because of your feelings and because of where you were in a relationship with them way back when, then you'll sit there and let the person die. I don't understand that. Why are you going to do that? And that's why I said, in order for you to deal with the secret enemies, first of all, you got to see which category you're in. Are you the secret enemy? Are you secretly envying someone? Are you secretly being disobedient when God told you to do something just because you don't like somebody? Are you the one that's in the way? Are you the one that's hindering somebody from living? Or are you sleeping with your secret enemy? Is your spouse every day you looking at your spouse, hating on them, wishing something happened to them? But then if something happened to them, you regret it. With in misery. Misery loves company. Are you sitting in a situation where you are so miserable, but you don't want to release yourself and tell the person what's going on? So you rather go in and day out like two ships passing in the night and not resolving anything. Where's your voice? Where's your communication? Because that nonverbal communication we do as women, we know when the house temperature is not right. If I'm not comfortable, if I'm not happy, ain't nobody in there. That's why they say happy wife, happy life. Same thing when it comes to our friendship. Do you have people in your life that you know that are secretly placed there for you to have that table prepared for you so that they can see the blessings of God, so they can be a witness to what God is doing in your life? Because sometimes God will allow people in your life that don't like you to bless you. They don't even know why they're doing it. Why am I doing this? I know I don't like you. That's what they'll say. Well, I don't like you, but here, God told me to do this. And sometimes they don't even give credit to God doing it. They just say here. And then they got this little attitude about it. But hey, that's okay. You can be mad about it, but thank God that he used my enemy to be a blessing to me. And you're right. Are you your own enemy, which is the inner me? Let me say that again. The enemy, when you're dealing with yourself, is the inner me. That turmoil, the twin that you're dealing with every single day. The one that you get up and wash their face and brush their teeth and they walk with you every single day. Those two twins called your flesh and your spirit. You're constantly at war with one another because one wants to conquer the other one. And I've said it before, the thing that you feed the most is the thing that grows the most. And the thing that grows the most is the thing that's in control. So sometimes you are your enemy because of your mindset, because of the things that you haven't forgiven yourself for the things that you have not allowed yourself to release. Sometimes we use it as an excuse not for us to be willing and obedient, because now we're looking at putting ourselves on a measuring stick and saying I'm not good enough, saying that, God couldn't have chose me and why me when I've done all these things. He knew that when he chose you, but he still chose you anyway. He knew your past, your present, your middle, your decisions, when you were going to do right, when you were going to do wrong. And he still said, guess what? I have need of thee. I still want to use you. He still knew you when you was in the mindset of hating on somebody secretly. He knew you when he exposed you. He knew all of that about you. So you got to do an inventory today and see where you are with this secret enemy. And then you got to ask yourself the question, why am I hating on her? Why am I hating on him? Why don't I know how to celebrate them? Why am I sitting up here tolerating them? Why am I not giving them joy? Why am I not giving them compliments? Why is it so hard for us to give that to each other? Why we can't encourage each other? When you think about all the things that are going on in social media, there's so many negative things going on in social media. It's the negative stuff that go viral. It's the negative things that get passed on from person to person. But you don't see too many good things rising up in the social media. You don't see a lot of good things with people in their intimate circles. We have forgotten how to encourage each other and uplift each other. It's through love and kindness that God said that he draws man, but it's through our personal beliefs and our emotional mindset that we're repelling men. We're not compelling men. That means that we're making men come to the presence of God by force, not by choice. But because we got so many hangups and all this stuff going on with us, we're missing the opportunity to make sure that people understand that there's a God that still sits high, looks low, still looks beyond our faults, sees our needs, still has a purpose for us, still has a plan for us, but we want to keep sitting ourselves in the seat of being the enemy. Why is that? So there's some shortcomings that we got to go back and look at ourselves, because I'm the first partaker of this word, just like anybody else out there. You got to go back and apply this word. Look at yourself. Do an inventory within you. Look at your circle of people that you connected to, because you are the people you run with. You're the pack that you run with. So if you got a lot of negative people surrounding by you, you attract what you are. What's on the inside of you? What are you emulating out here? What are you attracting out here? Positivity, positive and negative. You got to have a positive impact. So you got to go out there and understand that even in your social media, the stuff that you post, the things that you say, the things that you like, all of that is an indication of what's going on the inside of you. You ever get around people, you be like, oh my God, they ain't got nothing positive to say. So, yes, I can't believe I did a 30 minutes by myself, and I got excited about it. And thank you, Kelly Shook and Rhonda and Larita Thorpe for coming on. I guess everybody else will catch it later, because I had to go on the Let's Talk for Real page, because we're trying to get off our individual pages. So you can join us. Follow us on Let's Talk for Real with Shay and Trill, our Facebook page. You can catch us on YouTube with Let's Talk for Real with Shay and Trill. You can always go back and look at the videos. Thank you, Rhonda. Coming in June 23rd, we're looking at celebrating our first year anniversary with Let's Talk for Real with Shay and Trill on Facebook. We're going to be planning a event to help celebrate that event and celebrate those who have been following us, who have been faithful to us. We got t-shirts coming. We got coffee mugs coming. We got a lot of things that we're looking at trying to do with this Let's Talk for Real with Shay and Trill, because and the time that we're in, we need real talk. We need people who are willing to be transparent, because transparency is a clear indication of your deliverance. Can't nobody tell it like you tell it. So why let somebody else tell your story when they don't understand the glory that God has in the process of what he's been trying to do in and through you? So I'm excited about it. I think I got out everything when it comes to social media. But like I said, if you want to know when we're coming on live, you got to follow us on the Let's Talk for Real page. I'm going to repost this on my page for those that didn't get on and missed it. Shay will be back with me on next week. And we ready to make it do what it do, boo. So if you can sing along with me. It's Friday, you know the deal, it's Friday, so let's talk for real, it's Friday, so let's talk for real, let's talk with Shay and Trill. Let's talk. Let's talk for real. Let's talk for real. Booyah. Don't forget, do your comments. See what you thought about today. Any suggestions or any topics you want to talk about, or even if you want to come on as a guest. You don't have to come in live at the studio, as we call it. We can pull you in via Facebook. So what you have to say is important. You are important to the kingdom of God. You are important to the movement of God. You are important for the purpose and the plan that God has for your life. What you're going through is not just about you. It's about somebody else and how to get somebody else out of their pit. So stop being the private enemy. Be the soldier. Be the warrior that somebody else need. And thank you again for listening to me. Love you guys. Booyah.